Good afternoon, everyone. It's our
Yes,
immense
Kinkar.
pleasure. Good afternoon. It's our immense pleasure to have with us Dr. Bimal Kinkar Chand. Sir is Deputy Director of Research, Directorate of Research, Extension and Farms, West Bengal University of Animal and Fishery Sciences, Kolkata. And the topic chosen for deliberation is organic aquaculture and certifications, concept and components. Sir, you are please start. Sir, your session has been recorded. Please start.
Good afternoon to everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. And welcome to this program. Now, today my point of deliberation is the organic aquaculture and certification concept and components. Because I actually selected this topic because I had worked in a project where our university had given a consultancy service for a aquaculture certification scheme under a international agency, and I was associated with that. That was in actually 2015. So I thought of sharing my experience, and as you know that organic farming concept itself is catching up fast among the farmer, especially the agriculture. Though in livestock and fisheries, it is not so popular so far. But in the future, many avenue will be opening up for the organic market, and this is also expected to grow in future. Uh, Keeping this in the mind, today's topic I will cover actually what are the concept of organic farming, and then we'll come to the aquaculture. Then what is the difference between the organic farming and the certification for the organic farming, and what are the advantage certification bring to the farmer as well as to the consumer. And I will share some of my experience while actually working in the certification project. Now please just share my slide. Now actually coming to the first, yes, what is the definition of organic
Already
farming?
shared, sir. It is already shared.
Okay.
Whenever you feel like you have to move to next, you can
Okay.
ask it to move next, and we can move to the next.
Okay.
There would be
Okay.
a certain small amount of delay. You would have to
Okay, sir.
wait for that.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Now, if you coming to the organic farming, generally speaking, when we tell organic farming, normally we understand this is a chemical-free production system. Okay, and the core essence of organic farming is that one only, that is no synthetic input like chemical fertilizer, pesticides, hormones are not being used in the farming system. But when we talk about the certified organic or in modern organic farming system, it is much beyond this chemical-free production system. Of course, that is the chemical-free production system core essence. Apart from that, ecosystem in which the production is being produced, that means soil, water, environment, then neighbor people involved in the production system, their actually social aspect, their economical aspect, as well as the crop or the animal which is being produced, their actually well-being is being taken consider. That is it, so that it is a holistic approach where not only chemical free production system is being followed, apart from that due respect and also harmony is being maintained between the ecosystem as well as people involved in the production. That's why when we coming to the definition of the organic agriculture, as actually given by the IFOM is the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement. They actually tell that this organic production system sustain the health of the soil, ecosystem, and people. Here it speaks not only the restricted to the production activity. It extends to the soil. In case of agriculture, in case of fisheries, it may be soil, azure water, then entire ecosystem and people. All has to be there be harmonious synchronization of all three components. Then it again speaks about it relied on the ecological process, biodiversity, and cycle adapted to the local conditions rather than use of input with the adverse effect. And it combines tradition, innovation, and science to the benefit the shared environment and promote a fair relationship and good quality of fair of life in all involved. That means it also given emphasis on the traditional knowledge, traditional farming system, and also innovation also, and also scientific input, which have a harmonious relationship among the farmers, environment, ecosystem, as well as people. It actually speaks about the definition given by IFOM 2008. Now, next slide, we'll be going to the history of the organic farming. When I see the history of the organic farming, this that actually documentation initially came from actually India. Sir Albert Harvard, who is a British-born botanist, while he was working in the as a agriculture advisor in Pusa, that Pusa which is located at the Assam, sorry, Bihar, Samastipur. He actually worked in India during actually British India period from 1905 to 1924. There actually he actually documented traditional Indian farming practices. How actually traditional farming do the farming, and there he compare with the Western farming system, and there he documented that the traditional farming system has a superior component, superiority over the conventional agriculture which is been followed in that time in Western world. After that, one more scientist, Northbourne, he actually published one actually publication in 1940, which was written 1 year before. That book name is the Nook to the Land. There, there he gave the concept that the farming is means a farming an organism. Organism is a living thing. We are actually we are culturing, and to grow a good production, we have to grow the land itself. That means he actually spoke about the soil health. Afterwards, one Navy scientist, Navy E. Balfour, in 1939, he actually first did a scientific experiment on the traditional farming system prevailing in India vis-a-vis the Western farming system, where they use machinery as well as input, synthetic input like actually fertilizer and all these things. And 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 after 4 years of experiment, he had published one publication that is the living soil based on the initial finding. There he actually spoke about the soil health, how these soil microbes contribute to the dissemination of nutrients and also healthcare of the plant. And there he gave a holistic approach uh, to the farming system. But actually globally, the awareness for the organic farming system came in 1970s, where people as well as scientists started thinking that what we are producing, how much quantity is not enough, but at the same time we should give emphasis on the quality of the production. Earlier, our modern farming system, where actually dependent on the high yielding varieties of seed as well as use of fertilizer and also irrigation, their actually focus was mainly on the quantity of production, increasing the productivity. But slowly, from 1970s onwards, thinking came that quantity is not everything. Along with the quantity of production, we should also give emphasis on the quality of production, what we are producing, whether it may be rice, it may be vegetable, it may be fish, it may be meat. What is the quality of the product? Because ultimately that is contributing to the human health. And if our quality of production is not good, then it is going to hamper the health of the human being. That concept, and now this is actually growing more and more, and now people are giving more importance to the quality rather than quality of the quantity of production, and they are actually organic farming concept came more active, dominant, and global awareness growth, and that is slogan like know your farmer and know your food, because we should know the food what we are eating, from which source it is coming, who are involved in production of the food, and what are the process under which our food, ultimately what we are getting in our dining table, is passing through. That we call about the traceability. That that concept came, and slowly concept of organic farming and organic food concept has become more common, and nowadays globally everybody are aware of the benefits of the organic farming, and also people are also ready to pay actually more for the quality products. If then now actually coming to the next slide. Now actually coming to the concept of the organic farming. Next slide. When we are to see the concept of the organic farming, they are actually what I have tried to show through a Venn diagram. Please change the slide. Next slide. They are actually organic farming is carrying the social, economical, as well as environmental issues. Environmental. Next slide, please. Mr. Nishat, next slide. Next slide. Here actually, when we are talking about the concept of the organic farming, there are actually three major concepts. One is the social concept, and economical, as well as environmental. That means social aspect means what are the people, that means farmer and farm worker and the nearby communities who are engaged in the organic farming system. How they are involved, how this farming system is affecting their health, whether danger issues have been taken care of, how their traditional practices, social and cultural way of life is been given respect in their farming system. And I request to change the slide, please. Next slide. Yes. Now, these are the social concern. That means you are producing chemical-free production system, fine. But in your production system, if the farm workers, neighbor who are engaged in the production system, if their well-being, their social well-being is not taken care of, their health is not taken care of, they are actually gender discrimination is there. Their actually social custom is not being given respected. Then this won't conform to the organic certification, because it is a holistic approach. Apart from the quality of produce, entire ecosystem must be taken care. That's why in the organic farming system, social aspect also given more important. Social aspect of the farm worker and the people and the community, nearby communities. They are not been deprived of anything due to the farming. Then, of course, economic activities are there in income, marketing, trade, because organic farming at the same time also, as you know that when we are organic farming, when you are not using the synthetic hormone, pesticides, fertilizer, then and also sometimes high yielding varieties, exotic variety are not promoted under certain organic guideline. That's why your production is going to be compromised. That means the farmer may not get good production or maximum production. That means to make it economically viable, that active cost that the organic production crop are generally produce are generally more expensive to take care of the income, marketing, as well as trade. That's why economic aspect has to be taken care of. Then, of course, the energy, the environment. Environment means soil, climate, biodiversity, water. Everything has to be. We should have the entire farming system should be eco-friendly, and it should not have any negative or adverse impact on the environment. That means on the soil, on the water, as well as the general climate, as well as the biodiversity at large. This is the end. When we draw a Venn diagram incorporating and also overlapping all these concepts, then at the center portion, which will satisfy all these criteria, what I discussed under the social sector, economic aspect, as well as environmental. If it satisfies all aspects, then it's called the organic production. That is actually the center part. Green color, we have mentioned that it is the food production. That is the organic food production. Next slide. Then other way also, if we see that what is the organic, what are the relationship between the general agriculture, then we talk about, often we talk about sustainable agriculture. Sometimes we talk about traditional agriculture, then organic agriculture, and certified organic agriculture. If we try to build a relationship among all these terminology, then it is this kind of Venn diagram comes to a picture. Where traditional agriculture, most of the aspects of the traditional agriculture conform to the organic agriculture, and most of the sustainable agriculture also conform to the certain condition of the organic agriculture. And once the organic agriculture has been conformed to the certain guidelines as well as standards set by the certain authority, then it becomes the certified organic agriculture. Next slide. As I was telling that if the traditional farming is the organic, if we see the next slide, please. If we see that the traditional farming system, they are actually, when humans are not aware of the use of the synthetic fertilizers, that is chemical fertilizer, hormone, pesticide, all these actually agrochemicals. Before that, before the use of the agrochemical, that era we used to call it the traditional farming. And also mostly that is the production we used to get, that was the quality-wise, it was devoid of any kind of chemical. That means it's a chemical-free production. So that if we see the product as such, it is an organic product. But that farming system may not be an organic farming system, because may not necessarily other aspects. That means ecosystem, then welfare of the crop or animal husbandry, then social aspect of the community, farming communities, that may not have taken well care. That's why if we see the final output as a produce, organic produce, yes, traditional farming system, we used to get a chemical free product, which is which is good to good to human health. But it was not a holistic approach, may not be holistic approach, because there may be certain compromise on the social as well as environmental as well as well-being aspect of the system as a whole. Because but when this market production came, that means one farming system we call it a sustenance farming system or subsistence agriculture. That means earlier farmer used to culture only for the own consumption, and they used to totally depending on the organic farming system. But when commercial farming concept came, then when these high yielding varieties came, all these synthetic agrochemicals use came into picture. There actually scenario changes, and we compromise with everything. We compromise with the environment, soil health, and the focus was only for the higher yield, and more production. And we didn't uh, give much care uh, to the environment ecosystem at large. That's why it was not actually sustainable. And afterwards, sustainability and also sustainable farming nowadays we will better talk about the sustainable development goal of the UNA. That means everything has to be sustainable. All these concepts actually came. Then now next slide. Then now we understand that the organic production system means has to be certain protocol which will ensure the chemical free production system, as well as it will maintain the harmony among the ecosystem, people, and your practices. Then why we are talking about a certified organic farming or certification in organic farming? Because once you produce the organic, then you have to farmer has to sell at a higher price. It is because it has a superior quality. It is devoid of pesticides, harmful chemical, hormone. Okay, so that it won't harm to the health of the consumer. But beyond that also, it brings something extra. That means it also take care of the social aspect of the socio cultural aspect of the people engaged in farming, their economy also, as well as health of the ecosystem and sustainability. That means it brings not only the healthy food, but it also brings a healthy environment along with it. That's why we call it the organic farming. Is not only the chemical free production system, but beyond that, we are talking about a holistic approach where we are giving importance not only to the food we are producing, but to the ecosystem, as well as people and their life and their society at a large to into the consideration. So then why the certificate? Because when you are producing following so many protocols and so many guidelines and also respecting the all aspect of life, obviously our production cost will be more. Then to make it profitable, farmer have to sell at a higher price or at premium price. Then as a consumer, when a consumer is going to pay more for a organic produce, then he must be assured of the quality. That means one organic tomato and conventional tomato. By outside, a customer cannot differentiate what is the difference. Then why a customer will pay a premium price for a organic production or a organic tomato unless he is assured that it is being produced following all the protocol. There comes the certification. That means he cannot give more price just because the farmer or the seller is claiming it is organic and charging a premium price. No, he wants a independent third party certifying agency who will give a assurance to the consumer that no, I am giving you assurance because we have diligently followed the entire process and guideline. We have certified, we have seen their farm, we also have documented the entire process, and we give you a guarantee that it is conformed to all the guideline and protocol, and you are assured, and we are giving the assurance to, on behalf of the producer that you are getting a organically grown a product. That's why you can pay more for buying, so that it brings a value to the consumer as well as it also brings value to the producer, because since that product has been certified, that the producer or the seller is able to sell that product as a premium price. That's why actually certification is very essential. And once you get the certification, there are different types of certification. One is the international certification. There are international certification schemes which are more stringent, and that actually has the most premium price also if the product is the organic internationally certified, because it is passed through the very stringent guidelines. Then there are many national certification scheme also. These are also very good, but they had a more acceptance in a particular country. If it is the Indian certification, it has a more acceptance with the in the within the within actually in India, India, if it is national international certificate, it is a global acceptance. Apart from that, also there are localized certifications where it has been certified by a company, may be certified by a by NGOs who are trustworthy, who has a brand value, who has a face value, and local people or a regional people rely on that and the purchase. I will give that the example of the all this category. And next is the local local certification. Actually, self certification. Self certification is to a big farmer group, big NGO. Everybody knows you. Everybody trusts you. If you are claiming that it is been organically grown, then farmers are believing, and are actually ready to pay higher price for that. That means there is a international and national level certification. There may be a local level certification, and there may be also certain cases of the self certification schemes are there. And this certification is also a marketing tool through which your product will get a visibility, and it increases your sale as well as helps in getting a higher price for a production. That's why certification is actually necessary. Next slide. If we actually see the certification, then at the next slide, it is basically a balance of interest, because this actually satisfy the requirement of both the consumer or the customer who actually consume or purchase the product, and for the producers also. Both are being benefited. That means this is a actually win-win situation for both for the producer as well as for the consumer. Next slide, please. Next slide. That means consumer demand a healthy and environment sound practices, and they are willing to pay the premium price, and the farmers are producing the premium product following the guidelines and the standards set by the certifying agency, so that both the requirement is being met up by the by the by the certification. Next slide, please. Hello.
Sir,
Next
I think
slide.
slides are not moving, sir. We are not
Yeah.
able to see the slides.
Okay. just to try once again. Then once we come to that the organic certification, there are actually four aspects. One is the accreditation body, who actually design and specify the protocol and also standard. They will also set up the standard, different standard, soil standard, water standard, social aspect, seed varieties, then at the quality control, all these they will be setting the standard. Then there will be a inspection agency who will inspect, who will go in on the farm, see the activity, document it, and it will give his report to the certifying agency. That is also all are actually independent agency. And if the farm conform to all these conditions, then actually certifying agency will issue a certificate in the name of a farm. It may be a individual farmer's name. It may be under a group certification. That a certification can be given to a group of farmers or a cluster of farming zones also. And different kind of certification schemes are also to be available. Once you see that the accreditation body, that means that is the authority body who actually define the policies and standards and also protocol for certification. And what are the standards? Standards define the production method, and also it can be also setting the national or regional standard for a particular crop or a particular culture, whatever name. And what will be the function of the inspection agency? They will make the on-site visit to verify the performance of an operator in accordance to the specified standard. And once they are certified, we something called the auditors. And certifying the auditor, they will go, they will see, and if they find some shortcomings or shortfall in the standard, then they will point out, they will give some time for the farmer to actually improve, and they will make a next visit, maybe after 3 months, maybe after 6 months. And once they are actually certified with all these procedures, then they will give their report, and that will be reviewed by the certifying agencies. And once they are actually satisfied with the performance, then on the behalf of the accreditation body, they will issue a organic certification in favor of a particular farmer or a particular group or a particular cluster. Next slide, please. Once we get a certification, then you are entitled for use the certification mark. Sometimes we call it the Ecolabeling. Sometimes they call them certification logo, so that it will give a visibility. If it is the international certification, and if your product bear a international certification mark, then you can sell in the global market, international market. If it's a domestic one, national certification, you can sell your product all across the country. If it's a local certification mark, then you have a localized acceptance depending on the certification, because all this varies depending on the stringent guideline. Okay, next. Then what are the steps actually next? What are the steps actually involved in organic certification? That is mean the certifying body will be there. They will be visiting to the farms, and they will be reaching on the agreement, and they will tell that these are the changes they have to make, so to bring the entire farming system under the certification. Yeah, and also they will give you certain point for actually change your farming practices and also the procedures so that your farm or your process can be brought under the certification scheme. And once the farmer are able to bring all these changes and they are satisfied with that, then they will ask the inspecting agency to make a visit. And once they visit it, and if they are satisfied, they will what are the observations, they will send to the certifying agency, and after the review, the certifying agency on behalf of the accreditation body will issue the certificate in favor. These are the different steps. Next, please. Next slide. Then next slide. Then it coming to the organic aquaculture. As you know that organic aquaculture concept and all is very actually new because the commercial aquaculture is also compared to modern agriculture, it is also the very actually recent origin. Next slide, please. In actually 1995, in first actually organic aquaculture scheme came, that is for the Atlantic salmon, and that was the certifying agency was the Netherlands, which is a pioneer in actually global scenario. That has been agency, and that actually that had a scheme developed by a German agency, Netherlands, and our actually aquaculture farm which actually we have certified in 2015. Initially, it has a Netherlands certification, but I say afterwards it has aquaculture stewardship county ASC certification due to actually certain agency, so that it started in 1995. After that, it actually covered the different years, because international certification will also have a specific scheme, will be a specific product only. There may be a certification scheme for only for carp. That guideline cannot be implemented for the pangasius culture, maybe for the tilapia. So that the passage wise there are different certification schemes are there, and different agency they actually bring out the different scheme for the different product, and it has a acceptance in a particular geographical region. Next. These are history of the organic aquaculture. What I actually explain you. Now it is coming to the Indian scenario. Next, India scenario, basically there is a organization known as APEDA, Agriculture Product Export Development Agency. They actually in 2002. Next slide, please. They brought out one scheme that known as the India Organic. Directly certification logo is the India Organic, and their scheme is the NPOP, National Program for Organic Production, NPOP. And then that was the first national level certification scheme launched by APEDA in 2002. And then subsequently another in 2017 FSI. And food actually safety and standard authority of India, FSI, in 2017 they also launched one certification scheme known as the Joybik Bharat. Apart from that, also certain agency like Mother Dairy has one scheme for organic certificate. They call it Safal Organic. They also cover certain type of vegetable and other spices under the organic certificate, and all these accrediting agency have a different standard for different commodities. All may not cover all type of commodities. Okay. Then also state also some state also they have a state level organic scheme. For example, Sikkim state has a they have a separate organic scheme. They call it a Sikkim Organic, and they claim that entire state has been brought under the organic farming system. That means what are the agriculture produce, vegetable or crop you grow in Sikkim, they are being actually organic because they have ban the use of chemical fertilizers, and they made the interstate as a organic, and they also use a certification scheme known as a scheme organic. These are the certain actually schemes which are being actually once you come under, if your production system come under one in any type of certification scheme. I have given some of the example. Suppose suppose if you are following the EPEDA certification scheme, once you given the certificate, then if your product is produced following this guidelines and also you have a certification for that, then your product can carry this logo of India Organic. If it is for FSI, your product can carry the logo of the Bharat Joybik Bharat logo. Then actually coming to this how they actually do it. First, they will be doing the standards. That means you have to see. Suppose you are producing organic cotton. That means organic cotton, they have a standard. Organic certification under the India Organic, they will say that for what are the organic cotton seed variety you are entitled, which are banned chemical we are not able to use it, how you control your pest, how you look after the social and financial aspect of the farm worker engaged in production system, what will be the harvesting procedure, what will be your post-harvest procedure, all these guidelines will be there. Under the NPOC, there will be a general guideline, as well as there will be a crop-specific guideline. All has to be compliant. Once you comply this by the farmer, then that will be verified by a third party independent certifying body, which is the inspection body will go to the body to the farm. Once they get satisfied, they will give the report, and based on the report, you will be given the and also there will be duration for the once you get the certification, some scheme covers for 2 years, but after that you have to go for a renewal. That means again revisit that agency will revisit your farm, and if they are satisfied, then your scheme or your certification duration will be extended. That means this is a time bound certification, not that once you get it, it will be valid forever. No, it has a time limit. Then in case of EPEDA, initially they cover the crops, wild collection, and also the value chain. That means trading, storage, transport, export, all are the ingredient involved in processing. But afterwards, they also included Indian organic. They also included livestock, aquaculture, as well as textile. But I don't think that specific guideline for this is I don't know yet to come, but they have a generic guideline for the aquaculture. Yeah, that is also suitable for actually selling our product as organic within India. But in case of international market, you have to go for a more stringent. Now I will give you an example of the aquaculture, that is the ASC certification, that is aquaculture stewardship certification scheme. It is the next slide, please. It is the latest certification in actually aquaculture, which was introduced in 2010 by actually WWF and IDH of the Netherlands. They actually speak of the sustainable production, but the organic also a part of that sustainable aquaculture also method, including the this I am next slide. Next slide. They are actually what is the I will give you an example, because the aquaculture stewardship council, how they have a 7 principles. First principle is one farm has to comply with the national and local law of regulation. What are the local law of farming system? What needs, the tenure of needs, use of groundwater allowed or not, all kind of national and local rules and regulations must be complied. That is the principle number 1. Principle number 2 is the site of the farm should be located in an environmentally suitable location, and also which will, while conserving the biodiversity and the importance of natural ecosystem, it should not disturb. Your active farming, next slide, it actually should not hamper the natural ecosystem as well as biodiversity. Third thing is the development and farm operations should be with the consider surrounding community. That means you have to give respect to the surrounding community, their actually social values, their cultural aspect should not be compromised or it should not be hampered due to your farming activity. Fourth one is the operation of farm with the responsible practices. Next slide, please. That means within the farm, what are the protocols you are following? Regarding the working condition of the workers, living place of the farmer, the worker, food, what kind of food you are giving, what are the working environment, even your welfare of the animal. That means if you are harvesting fish, you cannot put fish in the trash before harvesting. You cannot allow the fish to struggle before actually harvest. That means welfare of the animal also it been. Then how we are managing the health as well as welfare of the farm animal. In this case, it may be fish or shrimp. Then how we are managing your broodstock and another what is the origin of the broodstock, because any activity which goes against the natural instinct of the animal that won't conform to the organic. That means if you are able to sell meat to the international market with the international certification, that in that case artificial insemination of cattle is not allowed, because artificial insemination is against the natural instinct of the animal. That means if your calf has been born due to the natural crossing of cow and bull, then that milk can be sold at the international market as a organic milk. But if your calf has been born by the artificial insemination, then that milk cannot be sold in the international market as the organic milk. But in case of India, that is actually allowed. Similarly, if in case of shrimp, if you are have a eye stock ablation, if you are having the induced bleeding pro eye stock ablation, then that won't be certified for the international organic certification. But since there is no other viable method is available as a alternate to the eye stock ablation, now actually what they are allowing, they are actually allowing the broodstock to bring from the natural from the deep sea. Mother broodstock is been collected, then there been bred, and then same broodstock is been released back to the nature, so that the natural balance of broodstock in the nature is been maintained. Hello. That mean all these things has to be actually followed, but this standard, but the rules are very stringent if it's a international certification. But if it's a national level, there may be certain relaxation is there. If it is a localized certification, then also much more relaxation is been given. But every year they give more importance. Every year that is chemical free production system is the basic actually requirement. These are the actually seven actually principles based on which ASC certification, aquaculture stewardship certification, it actually depend on. I think that due to the shortage of time, I may not actually explain, elaborate you on the each principle. Here is the local and national laws. That means if you are developing a farm, that means you should, if there is no demand that you should get the certification from the controlling fishery department, that you must have a certification that is clearance from the fishery department. If it is required environmental clearance, you must have environmental clearance. If it requires a contact level clearance, then also you must have. That means all the local and national law regulation as per the requirement, all this has to be actually be actually followed. Then the consider the environmental. That means it has to be the main group. You cannot develop a farm destroying the main groups. Then if there is a certain kind of natural park or a protected areas, this may be marine protected area or a forest protected area nearby, also within 10 kilometers you cannot establish a farm. You must have a buffer zone. Suppose if you are the agriculture and you are doing that is shrimp farming, The paddy farms are there. Then on the in between there must be a certain kind of the buffer zone, so that all these guidelines are there. To actually get the certification, your product, your farm certified under the organic farming. Similarly, also ecosystem has to be the surrounding community. Suppose that if one of the local community, they are actually depending on actually resources for that livelihood, which is other side of your farm. That means they have to go through your farm, and if your farm does not allow that community to go across your farm, then they cannot get access to their natural resources. That means you have to permit the local community to have to use your farm for that passage, for their livelihood, their actually way of living. They are actually dependent resource. They are able to access the resource. That means you are also giving the due consideration to the surrounding community. All these issues are there when then also farm operational responsibility, that child labor you cannot force bonded compulsory labor are not discriminative work environment. That means you cannot say that I require only male workers. I won't engage any female worker because they are not more productive. No, that would be gender discrimination. You cannot do. You have to give the equal opportunity for the women to also work. If they are also that worker, that woman employee also is entitled to get all kind of entitlement due to that childbirth, pregnancy, leave, everything. Then also all farmers are the workers are entitled for for their leave, compensation of the working hour. They also should get the good actually housing facilities. They should also get that good nutrition. If they are working in the fish farm, they must also get fish to eat for their meal, at least for at least some days in a week. You cannot keep them deprived of eating fish when they engage in producing the fish, because the fish is expensive. All kind of minor thing also you have to go there. Then also when you are coming to the hello, when you are coming to the disease also, welfare of the animal also, you have to the predatory control. Then you cannot have you should use that trap and other things to actually also to harvest the fish, so that fish as a farm animal should not put to the unnecessary pain in when you are harvesting. That means you should have to minimize the pain and suffering of the farm animal. That is also one criteria of organic farming certification. Then also how you manage your bull stock. I have already yes. Then also environmental efficiency and also responsible manner. That means suppose if you are using fish meal in your fish, that means you should ensure that fish meal should be procured from sustainable resources. If you are using soybean, you should see that soybean ingredient had been procured maintaining a sustainable farming system. So that all these things also has to be taken care of. Then if you coming to my active project, that was in 2015, we actually covered 1,000 acres. That means 400 hectares was actually brought under the International Organic Farming System for the shrimp. This actually covered the Bosida 2 block of the Chobis program of the district, covering the two actually clusters, Rajendrapur and Ghona in Bosida 2 block. These are the actually farm location. These are the farm details, coordinate and everything. These are the Rajendrapur cluster. This is the Ghona cluster. Total is the 400 hectares. That means 1,000 acres. These are the map of the Google Earth map of the distribution of the farms. These are the some actually glimpses of the farming actually areas. And these are the PRA. We are getting that view from the community, so that some of the profit is being is being rooted back to the community in form of the corporate social responsibility, so that what they want, we are also spending on their health aspect, solar night celebration, and these are the certain exercise we want to know the feedback from the farmer. This is also still this actually farming is going on. Initially it was actually 1,000 acre, but subsequently this has been expanded to the 3,000 acre. Now this shrimp farming, organic shrimp farming area is the 3,000 hectare. This is actually my actually presentation brief. Thank you. If there is any question, hello.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Might
Next.
talk it complete. Yeah, please. If there is any question, we can take some questions. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Participants, please ask the questions to sir so that he will answer them on time.
Okay, sir. This is Sagar from Andhra Pradesh.
Please.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir,
Please go on.
can we get this organic certification in RS farming also?
No,
In case
actually, yeah. Actually, that will depend on the what type of certification you want. If you want actually under the EPEDA, that means that the India organic, then they have a generic certification scheme. You have to go through this kind of actually standard. If you are able to confirm, then you can get. But as far I know, India organic, they don't have a culture system specific certification. Suppose in case of Netherlands, they don't have a, for this time being, they don't have any RS, because RS and all, they have to depend not on the feed and the other chemical. That's why all these intensive farming system, they are very difficult to get into the organic certification. But
Hello, sir. Can you say something? Sadra. He has left. I think there is some disconnection. Hello? Mute. Please unmute yourself.
yes.
Okay. Just a second.
There was little bit issue with the connection. Any other
Just
question?
let me start the presentation. Just.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I'm from Tripura. Sir, actually, I want to ask that organic aquaculture, when we are dealing with, so, sir, like it's a different from the traditional aquaculture, right? So, how we can, what may be the strategy to increase the production with organic aquaculture? Means it's it may not be traditional production, but how with organic aquaculture, how can we increase the production, but not maybe intensified, but at least
Yes, yes.
in a sustainable manner?
Yes. Okay, okay. Now let me actually answer. Actually, organic farming are more or less similar to traditional farming only. But organic farming is the traditional farming plus something more. Here actually organic farming, our target is not for maximizing the production, but actually optimizing the production without hampering the quality. That's why what I have told, organic farming basically base will be the traditional farming, and you bring certain kind of local innovation and some scientific input so that you are not compromising with the quality. That means base will be the traditional farming. You bring some local innovation. Suppose the feed. If you are the locally generated certain actually non